Welcome to the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. This is the sequel to our last topic in this series, and it will only get worse from here. There's more than triple the amount of threats to our life in this piece of place, and these animals are all unique in their ways of hunting us. As the timeline gets continuously twisted and more complicated by the game, we look back at the simpler times and ask, how the fuck was this 10 years ago? On November 11th, 2024, this game was released publicly, and it is now November 11th, 2024. I believe our night shift has begun, ladies and gentlemen. Mind your flashing lights and jump scare warning. That's right, we're all old. A decade in review for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Hey there, Ron!
Shut the fuck up about rhyming, no one cares.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and of course, good night, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, The Gaming Minecart, and today we are celebrating a decade in review for Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This is the best game in the series. I'm gonna just say it now. There is so much shit in this game that is probably going to be around double the length of the last A Decade in Review, and I'm not complaining, but I'm also not 100% sure on that. I once again will link the channel from which all of the footage you're seeing comes from, because my screen recorder is being a bitch and still won't function. So, yeah, Gamer's Little Playground will be in the description again. And, yeah, let's just begin with... Well, hello. This is the FNAF 2 office. This is a simple game when it comes to mechanics, so let's speedrun it, shall we? FNAF 2 is FNAF 1 with no doors, and another mask is a replacement. There are 3 entrances to your office. The 2 side vents can be seen via your camera lights or your vent lights, and the main entrance can be seen by using your flashlight, which is the only thing that has a battery life in this game. Along with the existing mechanics, there is a replacement for the doors that is supposed to make sure that your cranium doesn't become Mangle's next meal, the Freddy mask. Basically, when an animatronic is in your office or visible on your vent cameras, your Freddy mask will deter it from committing the death on you. You need to put it on in a quick fashion though, or else you will enter the animatronic husk. The lights allow you to see where everything is, and the cameras are the cameras. They do the same thing, except they're useless because it's pitch fucking black. There's also a music box in the prize counter, but we'll talk about that later. That's time! And now for the section that will take up half of the video length, the characters. There are so many of these First off, the toy animatronics. Toy Freddy, Toy Chica, please don't Google her, and Toy Bonnie and Mangle. The toy animatronics with toy in their name will spawn on the show stage and will take the route to your office via the main hall, because they're normal. Toy Chica goes through the left vent and Bonnie goes through the right. Toy Freddy comes through the center because he's too fat to fit in the vents. Mangle, however, is a special. He spawns in Kid's Cove, this game's version of Pirate's Cove, and takes the exact same route as Toy Freddy, except he's quirky and can also take the right vent, because why the fuck not? Only Mangle isn't a problem in Night 1, but after that he's a real ass to deal with. Next character, Balloon Boy. He doesn't even understand how physics works. He just goes to the right vent whenever he wants while making a laugh SFX, and if you don't pull down your mask, he steals your flashlight batteries and guarantees your death because of the other introduction in Night 2, Withered Foxy. This rotted corpse of a pirate furry is so riled up inside that shell that he's the only character who goes away with only the flashlight. The Freddy mask does a whole lot of nothing here. Speaking of not being affected by the flashlight, the puppet! This Karen kills you if your music stops playing, so you physically have to go into the prize counter on the cameras and wind it up. The puppet is a major player in the lore though, so I'll stop there. The other withered animatronics are introduced in Night 3, and now shit hits the fan, like all Night 3s in the game. The withered animatronics spawn in Parts and Service and act the exact opposite of their toy counterparts, except Withered Freddy, because Withered Bonnie, aka Faceless Bunny, takes the left vent, while Withered Chica, aka Crippled Chicken Tender, takes the right vent. All withered animatronics are visible when using your flashlight, when they're in the hallway at least. And the animatronics that aren't Foxy will show up right in front of your face during their attack phase. There's also Withered Golden Freddy, but fuck that guy.
It's Toilet Bonnie, not Faceless Bunny.
Too bad.
What?
The lore in FNAF 2 is complete anarchy. Nothing makes sense, everything is confusing, so let me take it as it was back in 2014. In simpler words, so none of you get, confused. The ideas we had back then were simpler and will take less time to explain. First of all, the bite of 87 mentioned in Phone Guy in FNAF 1.
Something about their servos locking up if they get turned off for too long. They used to be allowed to walk around during the day, too. But then there was the bite of 87. Yeah. It's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe, you know?
Alright, that's enough. This was believed to take place in FNAF 2 by Mangle after the game released, and theorists got their hands on it. Mangle was Toy Foxy, but he ended up becoming an amalgamation because the kids couldn't keep their grubby hands off of him, and kept ripping him into pieces. This eventually got him a new area entirely based around that concept, and that's why Mangle's Mangle. This is also the first game to introduce mini-games after each night, which was an amazing concept, especially since it adds lore. The puppet? Yeah, she's the dead daughter of a co-owner of the pizzeria, and was murdered by the other co-owner of the pizzeria, who killed more kids and trapped technically, he didn't trap them, but they got trapped inside the animatronics that were in the first game, and technically also the second game. Nothing makes sense. And now the other issue with this game. In FNAF 1, we got this voice line from Night 4. My man, Night 4. So he's dead, right? Right? He's still here, what the f- The phone guy's still alive somehow, which is why a lot of people thought FNAF 2 was the prequel to FNAF 1. Because this phone-headed shitstain decided dying wasn't on his bucket list that day, apparently. The timeline of this series will only get worse, trust me. Anyway! So, comments, questions, concerns, hopes, dreams, philosophies?
If you have 5 tacos and 7 shells, why do you need pasta on the side of your pillow?
Great! This meth again. Once again, there isn't really a very large skill ceiling for FNAF 2, but there is one. The FNAF 2 speedrun leaderboards, which do exist, are full of runs, and the things that they do are really easy for the most part, but the main thing they do throughout the whole game is music box, vent, vent, music box, vent, vent, hallway, repeat. Not much to say here. It's about the same as FNAF 1.
Didn't you make that in biology?
Damn it, how'd you know?
You told me.
Hey look, it's the theme of the series! This game is only scary because of one sound that constantly plays when the character is in your hallway. Fuck off, let me talk. Anyway, the character designs are much less scary than the first game, despite the withered animatronics trying their best. It's overall just not a scary game. Back in 2014, when people didn't know what they were doing, it was terrifying, but we know the entire code of the game now, so... Overall, this was an amazing experience for me. This isn't my footage because my screen recorder is still being a bitch, but I played through this entire game and it's really fun. It's a great game for a little skill challenge and honestly gave me quite the adrenaline rush when I played it. This game isn't perfect by any means, it was released a decade ago, but I can see why it's the best FNAF game in the series. Between the 5 sections in this long-ass video, I give FNAF 2 an 8 out of 10. Pretty good score. But next time, we will continue our trek down the rabbit hole of Five Nights at Freddy's. The spring locks have failed, and the horrors that await us are unlike any we've seen before. Not in number, but in sheer power. Welcome to FNAF 3. Thanks for watching.